Once upon a time, there was a boy who lived in an apartment. In the neighboring apartment, there lived a lonely old lady. And one day, this old lady neighbor passed away. That night, the boy had a dream. It seemed like he was in school, attending a Russian language lesson, and the teacher was dictating a text. Under no circumstances should you look at the coffin. Under no circumstances should you look at the coffin. Under no circumstances should you look at the coffin. When the boy woke up, he decided that just in case, he wouldn't peek out the window during the funeral. As the funeral began and the funeral march played outside his window, the boy lay down on his cot and decided not to get up until the funeral was over. And so he did. Soon, the funeral procession moved away, and the boy stayed lying down a bit longer before finally getting up. In the evening, he was watching TV. They announced that the funeral of a renowned actress with a certain last name had taken place today. They showed her house, the people wearing black mourning bands, and they showed the coffin. The boy's heart almost leaped out of his chest in fear. He never expected that they could show the coffin on television, the one he wasn't supposed to look at. The following night, he had the same dream again. The teacher was dictating the text. With a lively hand, the old lady removed the first plank from the coffin. The second night, he dreamt again. With joy and cheerfulness, the old lady removed the second plank from the coffin. The third night, it happened again. The cheerful old lady exerted a bit of effort and removed the third plank from the coffin, and so it continued for 6 more nights. In the last dream, the text was, humming a little song, the old lady removed the 9th and final plank from the coffin. The joyful old lady climbed out of the grave and headed to your house. The old lady is approaching your entrance. The old lady reached your floor. The confident old lady opened the door to the neighboring apartment. At this point, the boy woke up in horror. He pressed his ear against the wall, which he shared with the neighboring apartment, and started listening. At first, there were no sounds. Then he heard some footsteps, followed by strange noises. It seemed as if the old lady had indeed returned, walking around her apartment and singing a lively song. Then the sound subsided. Suddenly, out of the blue, the doorbell rang in the boy's apartment. The boy's legs gave way from fear, and he fell to the floor. Then he mustered his strength and shouted, "Mom, Dad, someone's ringing the bell." But there was no sign of his mother or father. They were nowhere to be found in the apartment, and the doorbell continued ringing. At night, the sound was so deafening and eerie. The boy approached the door and whispered, "Who's there?" There was only silence in response. Then a very loud thud hit the door. It was so strong that one of the panels flew official. From somewhere above, as if from the ceiling, the teacher's voice resounded. With a confident hand, the old lady removed the first plank from the door. Then came the second blow, accompanied by the voice. Blinded by wild fury, the old lady cheerfully and effortlessly removed the second plank from the door. The boy realized that soon the old lady would break down the entire door, enter the apartment, and kill him. He started to think about what old ladies disliked the most in the world. Immediately, the answer came to his mind: loud modern music. The boy quickly turned on his favorite band on the computer and turned the volume up to the maximum. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then half an hour. Nobody burst into the apartment. That's when the boy opened the front door. Outside the door, there lay the blackened corpse of the neighbor. The corpse had hands covering its ears, and its face was contorted in agonizing spasms.